Apparently, the excessive consumption of sugar doesn't cause fucking diabetes. Why? Because this fucking sign says so. That's why. I mean, sometimes I see things and I go, what the fuck? I mean, really, what the fuck? This is not new shit. It's not like I started doing this on my channel. It was suddenly a new fad. 100 years ago, they treated diabetes by a low-carb, no-sugar diet. Banting treated obesity this way. We lost it because of the big fucking dollar, and this picture that you see right here came across, actually one of my, if you go to my Facebook page, you can see who contributed this, but it came across, one of you guys was nice enough to trigger my ass, and this is pretty much a microcosm of why we're fucked, why we have a diabetes epidemic. We've been teaching everyone. You're walking by, oh, by the way, here's as much sugar as you want, dickhead. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it. And then 20 years later, you wonder why the fuck you're diabetic and on 10 different fucking prescriptions with one foot in the fucking grave if they don't cut it off first. Or you wonder why you're obese. You gotta understand the mentality that went into this disinformation, and this is an example right here. And if you think this is an isolated incident, then you haven't watched too many commercials about sugary cereals and so on and so forth. Even today, where we are more aware of sugar than we ever have been in the past 50 years, we are definitely starting to wake up from this fucking food nightmare that we've been in my entire fucking life. I was born in the 70s. Here I am now. And after all this time, we're finally getting our shit together. And we should have been getting our shit together to begin with. But guess what? Money and lobbying and food companies and the sugar industry won the battle against the animal industry, and that battle, that torch for that battle is being carried today by the vegans, and they're continuing to demonize meat and saturated fat while giving sugar a big fucking pat on the back and say, it's okay, we know you're getting a bad rap right now, but it's really the meat, not you. Even though most people who eat lots of meat and get cancer and all of these things also consume copious amounts of sugar and carbs at the same time they're eating their meat. But, it's the meat. It's the fucking meat. We don't give a shit about the sugar. It was the fucking meat in the study. The meat did it. The meat. The goddamn animals. Save the fucking animals, bitch. Okay, I'm better. All right. But I don't know where that came from. I got some hostility built up. Sorry, vegans. My bad. But anyways, you are carrying the fucking torch for this new, sugar's okay fucking thing. And I have vegans commenting on my vegan trigger videos that are to this effect, that it's not sugar and carbs, that it's okay, and blah, 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 blah. There's a new campaign starting to spin up, and I bet you that shit like this, some vegan's gonna walk by that sign and be like, see? It's not the sugar and carbs, dickhead. It's the meat, meat, meat. I know that how this works. I've been here. I used to think that a bowl of cereal that was fortified with vitamins and fucking minerals, if as long as it looked like a cornflake looking fucking shit that you wouldn't want to eat, it was probably healthy. Instant oatmeal healthy, blah, 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 blah. We've been there. We've done that. We bought the t-shirt. We did it for the past 30 years. Our meat consumption didn't change. Our carbs and sugar, particularly refined carbs and sugar, and our grain-based diet went up. Our fucking meat and fat stayed the same, although the types of fats that we started to consume weren't the saturated fats. We were worried about the eggs. We were worried about the butter. So instead, we started having vegetable oil, soybean oil, corn oil, and that's still what most food is fucking cooked with when you eat out nowadays. And if you look at processed food labels, that's still the kind of fats they are using there. They are not using healthy fats. Hence, they're exacerbating the problem by giving you fats that you can't digest properly, that cause inflammation, that cause probably leaky gut in my book, and all kinds of other issues, because these are fats we weren't designed to consume. Now, leaving all that aside, I want to set the record straight on sugar and carbs in this video, on the off chance that some dickhead read the fucking title of this video and realized that, hey, wait a minute, he's not saying that sugar doesn't cause... Wait, now I gotta stop eating sugar? Fuck! Alright, let me be perfectly clear. Sugar and carbs, particularly refined carbs. I'm not attacking leafy green vegetables. Fruit in moderation when it's seasonable is okay a little bit. It still can be overdone and contribute to diabetes and insulin resistance. If you eat 10 bananas a day, you're effectively might as well be drinking a Dr. fucking Pepper or a fucking soda, because that's what you're doing to your liver. That's what you're doing to keep your insulin spiked all day, and repeatedly keeping your insulin up is what builds insulin resistance, not to mention the accumulation of liver fat and other fat in tissues leads to insulin resistance. These fats are made from carbs and sugar. Fat doesn't make you fat. Sugar and carbs make you fat. Fructose is almost converted entirely to fat right in your liver and released as fucking triglycerides and LDL, the shitty LDL, into your bloodstream, clogging your arteries and causing all kinds of fucking problems. If sugar and carbs does all of that, it causes insulin resistance and obesity. Not to mention the fact that constantly spiking insulin is constantly blocking leptin, so you're fucking hungry all the time. Also, your tissues are insulin resistant, so you're taking in all of this food and energy, and it's getting shunted directly to your fat cells until those are overfull, and then it's just spilling out into your liver, your muscles, your fucking arteries, and causing all kinds of other problems. And, we've gone over this on many videos on my channel. Sugar and carbs, without a doubt, in my brain, this is me saying this, but there is science ongoing that is supporting it. There are studies that are confirming this, and it was said at one time in history that we somehow fucking forgotten in our social media fake news fucking culture, that sugar and carbs consumed excessively cause insulin resistance, obesity, which leads to diabetes. That diabetes starts to come into play when your pancreas can no longer produce enough insulin to get the sugar out of your blood. That's what diabetes is. If you take the sugar and carbs out of your diet, You don't necessarily cure the insulin resistance right away. It can take a few years. However, your A1C will drop into normal ranges. You can get off of your fucking blood sugar control drugs, which are essentially just there so you can keep eating sugar without fucking dying. And if you stop eating the sugar and carbs, then you don't need to constantly control your blood sugar with fucking medicine, which, by the way, is the standard of care that is given currently in hospitals. If they take a diabetic, they feed them carbs for when their blood sugar's supposedly low, and then they keep the high blood sugar down with insulin injections and fucking drugs. This is completely unnecessary if you eliminate carbs and sugar. And the same thing when it comes to preventing diabetes and obesity. If you cut out the sugar and carbs, you will not become obese. All right? You won't. It's a fact. You'll gain 10 pounds, you'll lose 10 pounds, you'll be in a nice homeostatic, you might even get overweight if you overeat on a low carb diet. But you're not going to be creating the visceral fat. You're not going to be insulin resistant. You're not going to have these metabolic diseases that you see plaguing everyone. So whenever you see one of these fucking signs, you should be pointing out. We're all in this triggered society. This thing, oh, I saw this, so let's go on Twitter and fight our social justice battles. Let's go and destroy this person's life because they did some bad shit. Yet we're looking at some bad shit staring us right in the face, and only I'm getting triggered about it. Where's the big movements? Where's the big news stories? Where is the big fucking movement to shut down whoever the fuck made that ad? It's not there. Why? We're addicted to sugar, for one. And two, mainstream isn't telling us. Medical, not telling us. Mainstream media, health, not telling us. Every once in a while, one of these little stories slips out that sugar's bad, and then it completely gets shuffled to the bottom of the pile in favor of meat is bad, in favor of fat is bad, in favor of all of these other things that you should exercise more. All of the things that are good for industry get, amplified over and over again, with every once in a while somebody gets their foot through the door with some real fucking science, and some real sugar is bad for you science. It's bad. It's fucking bad, all right? It causes diabetes. If you are diabetic, overweight, or pre-diabetic, the best thing you could do, if you did nothing else, is to cut down on sugar and refined carbs, and you'll notice your weight start to drop. It'll take a long time if you're eating all the time. That's why I advocate intermittent fasting. But the fact of the matter remains, as you cut this shit out, your weight will drop into healthier levels than it is now. You won't have to go on these drugs. You won't have to go on fucking insulin to manage your blood sugar, because your blood sugar will be in a normal range. I mean, this blew me away. And I look for shit like this when I'm out and about. Thankfully, I haven't seen too much. But to know that somebody is using a disease that is killing hundreds of thousands of people every year. I think the last time I looked, it was something like 400,000. Don't quote me on that. I haven't looked it up. Hundreds of thousands of people are dying from these metabolic syndrome-related diseases, including heart disease, diabetes, cancer, Alzheimer's. All of these diseases can be lumped into insulin resistance. And the root cause of insulin resistance is excessive carbs and sugar in the diet. Straight up. Animals are almost irrelevant in this fucking thing. Saturated fat is arguably healthy for you. Sugar and carbs are the only thing that these diseases have correlated with so strongly that it should be labeled the same that cigarettes when they were connected to lung cancer. And yeah, there are people who smoke who don't get lung cancer, but does that mean that that's for everybody? Well, it's the same thing with sugar. There's people that eat sugar that don't get diabetes. They get other problems, but, not so much with the diabetes. But arguably enough, as they get older, they become diabetic. You could go till you're 50 and 60 before you start becoming diabetic. I don't think that's happening as often now. You know, a lot of people are getting diabetes in their 20s and 30s now. Seems to be a bad trend. Something to think about. So, this was a triggered video. I wanted to get this out there. It's fucking ridiculous. We need to start calling these motherfuckers out and doing the same fucking shit that gets done for so much stupid shit nowadays. So much triggering over trivial things when this is legit something that's killing us by the hundreds of thousands, costing us trillions of dollars worldwide in healthcare, costing our whole standard of living for the last 20 years of our life. We are sick and fucking on medications and fucking miserable, all because we can't quit or at least reduce the sugar and carbs in our life. One of the reasons I'm on the journey I'm on is because I did not want to be sick for the last 20 years of my life. I don't want to even set foot in a fucking hospital if I can avoid it. I do not want to spend the majority of whatever I've accumulated income-wise paying to pharmaceutical companies and doctors' offices just so I don't fucking die. It's almost to the point where I would just rather die than deal with all of that. And I know by doing this for myself, and the weight I've already lost has already put me light years ahead of where I would be had I have done nothing and kept eating the standard American diet and kept not giving a shit and kept shoving sugar into my face and drinking Mountain Dew and drinking fucking Gatorade and drinking all of this fucking sugar just constantly with the sugar. And since I stopped doing that, I'm now a healthier motherfucker. Just right now. And I'm not even where I want to be yet. I'm still journeying. I'm addressing other aspects. I'm addressing the mental things. I'm addressing the addiction things. I'm addressing the lifestyle things that will ultimately lead to me having a decent rest of my life. It's not perfect. I have problems the same as everyone else, except I am managing my problems in a way that they are minimal, they don't last very long, and ultimately it become learning experiences to help me further my knowledge, my free thinking, and my desire to live a healthy life for what I got left. You know, and I probably got a decent amount of life left. I'm only in my 40s. So I'm probably going to be in good shape in my 60s as opposed to a mess or dead, which is the path I was on because I was pre-diabetic, 255 pounds. I'm in my upper 180s, though I did touch 190 this morning. I'm trying an experiment with diet that has caused me to hold on to some more water weight. But the fact is, that's where I'm at. Now, for some news, my journey continues on the, this week I've been doing 1 meal a day, 4-hour eating window. So a little, it's not just a meal. I snack and then I have a meal within a 4-hour window and then that's it for the day. So I'm experimenting with a week of this and then next week I will be trying the fasting mimicking kind of diet. Well, I'm not going to pay the green fucking powder shit. I'm going to just have heavy cream in my coffee. Around meal times or whenever I feel a little hungry, I'll have some fat. No carbs, no protein for 7 days. And just see what happens. Seeing if I can, A, get through 7 days like that. And B, just seeing if, how it contrasts. Is it a thing? Because that protocol is 7 days normal eating and then 7 days, which I'm not doing yet. 7 days, I might test that if the 7 days are productive. But basically 7 days of normal eating, 7 days of fat only. And supposedly you get like 80% of the benefits of intermittent fasting that way because fat does not have a huge insulin response. So that's what I'm doing. But remember, I'm not an expert. I'm just a fucking asshole Do your research. Do your homework. Before you go on the comments and argue with me about how sugar doesn't cause this shit, go out and find me a fucking peer-reviewed study that says that sugar does not fucking cause this, and shows a control group along with a fucking group that had sugar and a group that didn't. I guarantee you're going to come across a study that is the opposite of that proves that sugar causes these issues, and not one single study. And if you do, it's likely funded by some processed food or sugar industry fucking assholes. But be that as may, I'd be interested to see it either way. So don't just come in here saying, look, motherfucker, I eat 10 bananas a day. I ain't fucking getting none of this shit. And then you're like fucking 25 and you're not fucking old yet. And you'll realize when you get to be 40 that you fucked up. But that's just how it is. You know, a lot of these young fuckers are like, hey, I'm good. And then they get to my age and they're like, oh, shit. Yeah, my blood sugar's fucked up. My metformin. Shit. Wake up now while you still are young. Don't just fucking think you know everything, all right? Because I thought I knew everything, and it took a while for me to figure out I didn't know shit. And by the time I figured out I know shit, it was just shy of too late. A lot of people wait till it's already too late, and then they try and fix it. And that's a lot more difficult than if you just stop right now while you're young and take the steps to make yourself healthy, and then by the time you get to your 30s, your life is fucking way better than it would have been had you just ignored the problem. Have a nice motherfucking day and shit. Please like and subscribe for more fucking videos, and I'll make more fucking videos. Also, check out my webpage, ScottTheTruckDriver.com. If you like this video, if it was helpful or entertaining or just, gave you a boner or something, go ahead and leave some money in that tip jar, and I can spend more time making more content for you to enjoy or argue with or whatever you got out of this video. And shit. Also, like my Facebook page, Scott the Truck Driver, on there if you want to see posts and, articles that trigger me, or this picture, for example, came that way. So that's where we're at. So go check those out. Have a nice motherfucking day. And shit.